My name is Julian. I am the owner of Noozle3D. Well, I have my own store, and I do all the prints essentially for Rotor Riot, and a lot of their designs, well, 3D printed designs.
In addition to that, you just have a 3D printing store. You 3D print for anybody, right?
Right, exactly.
How long have you been doing that?
Since 2018, I want to say.
Wow. So you've been doing this a long time. And you've probably seen a lot of printers come and go. What were the first printers you got?
The very first printer I had was an ANET, actually. ANET A8.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I mean, it was fun to learn on.
Yeah. And right now I can see behind you, you have the Bambu. That's the P1P, right?
This is the P1P. Yeah, I have 6 of them.
Smaller cousin of the X1C. And you recently bought those. And what were you running before the P1P?
Prusa Mark III S. Still have one down there.
Did you sell them?
No, I have them, but they are for sale.
Oh, so you're getting out of the Prusa business and you're buying P1Ps. No one's sending them to you for free, obviously.
I am keeping one.
And you're a professional. You're a professional. So you have no incentive to make this decision other than the fact that you like this printer and you think you're going to want to use it. And that's why I want you in this video. What made you decide to switch to the P1P?
I mean, it's for business reasons. At least for what I'm using it for, the P1P, it's just better overall, essentially. It's faster. I'm getting prints to come out 2.5 times faster per printer. That's a huge improvement. I
mean, for a professional, the faster you can churn out prints, the more money you can make. That's a fact.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole cloud thing, I mean, I guess I'm not really too worried about it, but I guess that could be a downside. But it's a huge upside in terms of now that I have Wi-Fi compatibility, because before I used to, if I would get like a wholesale order for Rotor Riot, essentially I would have my prints already pre-sliced, and now when they make an order, I could just put it on the actual software and print all the items that I need at once. It just makes it much more simple. Yeah.
Now there are going to be people who say, well, you can get Octoprint or whatever. You can have Wi-Fi printing with other printers. And you're not like a noob. If you wanted Wi-Fi printing, you could have made it happen. What stopped you?
The ease of use, really. I mean, the Wi-Fi thing isn't the only thing. Like if I had Wi-Fi on the Prusas, I would still be compelled to upgrade.
Yeah, it's just, but you didn't have Wi-Fi on the Prusas, right? You were doing SD cards?
No. Right.
Yeah. How about the quality of the prints? Like they run faster.
They're actually better. Yeah, I'm actually getting better quality.
They run faster and turn out better quality.
They turn out better, yeah.
What filaments are you working with primarily?
TPU. 95A, I guess Saint Smart's the one that people are most familiar with, but I just get it straight from China. So
you're not using the Bambu branded filament?
No, I'm not.
Did you have to tweak the profile at all, the slicer profile, to get good results?
Yeah, of course.
What about like downsides, surprises, frustrations, problems you've had to solve? I mean, you put a lot of hours on these printers by now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not as much as the Prusas, obviously, but I want to say I've gotten more jams with these printers than I have the Prusas. It's not terrible. Definitely, since I didn't build these and I did build the Prusas, it was kind of difficult to figure it out. But I mean, once you figure it out, it becomes pretty simple.
How do you find them in terms of maintainability? Like the open source design of the Prusa, well documented, very standard design, and so when you need to do maintenance, there's a lot of documentation. The Bambu is in some ways it's like a European car that as soon as you need to work on it, you got to like pull out the manual. But there really isn't a manual, is there, about how to tear it down?
So I found that for most of the issues that you have, there is like a step-by-step process. Like you can find there's no like manual exactly, but there is like for this problem, these are the steps you have to take, and they have like pictures step by step, and even some videos too of how to do it.
That's Bambu documentation you're talking about.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. God forbid that stuff should come from the company instead of relying on the community to make it all up.
Yeah.
But you got the P1P. What'd you pay for them? I mean, I'm not trying to what do they retail?
I got them about 2 months ago, and I paid $6.99 for each one. But I did contact them because they're having a sale. They're having a sale for $100 off at $5.99 right now as we're talking. And I sent them an email, and they gave me credit for the printers.
No shit. They backdated the credit?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. And
That's
actually, printer number 2, I think this one right here.
Yeah.
That one was working for about a week, and I did have an issue with it. Something with the bed leveling. I'm not entirely sure exactly what was going on. So I contacted Bambu Lab support for it. They asked for a copy of the some kind of log that the printer automatically takes, and I mean, it took a bit because the customer service, I think they're kind of backlog right now. It took 3 days per response. So I think in total I was down, I don't know, 3 weeks. Not great.
That's a long time for a printer to be down for a pro.
Yeah. I calculated I only needed 5, but I bought 6.
Right.
Because I know these things.
Because you know how this goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was some kind of cable for the bed, some kind of sensor wire, and they gave me $50 on top of the replacement for the fact that I had to change it out myself. So
damn. And you're not and I love the fact that you're telling me these stories, because if I say I called Bambu or whatever, they're like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber." They know. But you're just a customer. So that's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
$600 for the P1P.
Mm-hmm.
How does that compare to what you would get if you spent $600 on a Prusa?
I think Prusa's right now are $800.
Is that for the fully assembled or the kit?
No, for the kit. So I believe you can get a Mark IV for $800. Yeah, and the fully assembled, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's around 1,000, between 1,000 or 1,100, somewhere around there, maybe 1,000. Mm-hmm.
And the Mark IV, the Prusa Mark IV, is really what compares to the Bambu. I mean, the Prusa Mark IV is still a bed slinger, so it's not a Core XY. But in terms of all of the modern focus on speed, Prusa has always focused on ease of use, right? But I think what makes the Bambu and the Mark IV different is that they're starting to focus on speed and performance.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Mark IV hits the same speed and quality targets as the Bambu, though, but it's way more expensive.
This is true, yeah. Well, I mean, I love my my Prusa Mark IIIs. They've been super reliable, and I'm sure you've heard many people say that. I mean, it's not that they're bad printers; they're absolutely great printers. But any little bit of advantage that I can squeeze out in order to turn out more prints, I'm gonna do it. I'm sure if it was for example, if I was a hobbyist printer and I didn't need it for the company, essentially, I think, I mean, it would be a better quality of life improvement, but I don't know if it'd be as necessary.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I mean, there certainly are going to be people out there who say if it's too easy, you won't learn it, you won't earn it, and they think that you should have to start on a cheap printer or build your own printer, or really, and the Prusa does give you some of that experience, especially if you buy the kit and assemble it yourself. But if you're going to pay, what's a Mark III go for? So Prusa i3 Mark III's Plus kit, $649, and that's for a kit you build yourself. What's the bed volume on the Mark III? Is it bigger than the P1P?
No, it's smaller.
Yeah, you're right. So it's is the P1P 256 by 256, just like the X1C?
Yeah.
So it's a smaller build volume. It's a slower last generation printer, and it's about $50 more expensive.
Right.
It seems to me like even a hobbyist who was like, I'm willing to get my hands dirty, it still seems like the Bambu is the better printer. Would you agree or disagree?
I would agree, yeah.
I'm not. I sound like I'm trying to railroad you.
No, I would agree. I mean, and it does kind of hurt to say too, because
that's what I'm trying to get you to say. Yeah. Why does it hurt? Why does it hurt to say that?
Because Prusa's been so good. I don't, and they've done so much for the community as well. It kind of, I feel like I'm stabbing them just a little bit, you know. But at the same time, I have to do it for my company as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, I think, is that if you didn't depend on this to make a living, you would use the slightly not quite as good in many ways printer because you believe in what Prusa is and who they are and what they've done for the community.
I think I probably would. Yeah, I probably would have gotten the Mark IV.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a really interesting perspective. I'm so glad we talked. It's really interesting. I mean, is there anything else you think that people need to know about the printer before we wrap up?
No, I don't.
No? Okay, great.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Awesome. You're not using the AMS, probably because you print flex filament mostly. Does the P1P even work with the AMS?
So officially it doesn't. There might be a mod you can use. I haven't really looked into it. Actually, the printer that I'm keeping,
Yeah.
the one of the Mark IIIs. I'm keeping it because it already has the multi-material on it.
Oh, okay.
And I don't get multi-material orders enough to justify like going through all the hassle right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really, I mean, I've never had any multi-material system before. This is my first one, but it's super, like, not, even if you're not doing like multicolor or multi-material prints, the ability to just run off a PETG print and then run off a PLA print and not have to reload filament is like so nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you actually done any multi-material like for one print?
So I've done multicolor.
Yeah, multicolor.
I didn't do, no, I haven't done like the dissolvable filaments or the dissolvable supports.
Okay.
Or like a combination PLA, PETG or something. Why?
Okay. I was just wondering how it's gone because I don't have an AMS on mine.
Yeah. I should probably find like some multi-material. The problem is I don't have Bambu. I have Bambu PLA and then I have like Amazon Basics PETG. And if I got a bad result, like I think Sean Morrison has prints. Oh, you would know. Doesn't he have a print for the tank that's like a foot that's part TPU and part PETG?
Yeah. But it's not multi-material. It's two pieces. So you put them together afterwards after it's printed.
Can you print TPU and PETG together?
I haven't tried it.
It'd be interesting if you could turn that into one print, although probably just like, showing off for no reason.
Yeah, it would probably end up costing a lot more time and more material to do it multi-material.
Yeah. Oh, right, because you need a purge tower. It's such bullshit. I can't wait till they make a multi-tool head printer, and then you finally
that would be cool.
Won't have to.
They're coming out with the new printers. They've announced they're coming out with an a P1S, X1E, and X1S.
What are those?
They're just new printers from Bambu Lab. We'll be hearing about it soon. Yeah, I don't know what they are, just like anyone else. Yeah,
I bet the X1E is a larger build area.
I would expect that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was annoyed. There's I don't know if you saw this project somebody did. It's a little car. It's a multi-rotor, but it hovers above the ground using I think it's a LiDAR sensor. Maybe it's a laser or sonar. It hovers above the ground at a fixed height, and you drive it like an RC car. So it has a pusher propeller and it flies like kind of like a hoverboat almost.
I think I've seen them. I think I know what you're talking about. It has like one fan on the bottom and one that comes out the back, or maybe two that comes out the back.
It's four props, so it's like a quadcopter with a backwards facing fan, and it flies like a car.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. I wanted to build one of those, but the frame that they put up for it won't fit on any of my printers. It's too big.
Oh. Yeah. Even the X1, your X1C?
Yeah. No. Nope.
Wow. It's big. It sounds like a really big print.
Like if I printed it vertically and turned it 45 degrees diagonal, I could just fit it on my Soval.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's designed to be printed. So I'm shocked at this result. Like I tried two different rolls, brand new out of the plastic.
Yeah.
One was black, one was white, sent to me from Bambu. Got the same result. I dried it for 12 hours.
Oh, that's from Bambu.
This is Bambu filament.
Oh. I thought you were saying it was Sainsmart. Okay.
No. Sorry. I do have some third-party filament, but I thought if I'm going to do the review, I should use Bambu filament.
Right.
And so two different colors, same result, and dried it for 12 hours, same result. I changed the retraction, and it got slightly better, but still not great. Like less stringing, almost no stringing, but little blobs right here where it retracts. Yeah, and I'm like, this isn't fucking right. It's I'm super disappointed.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah,
I really am. Yeah, because they're. I mean, I've tried their PLA out. I've really only tried their PLA out, and I mean, it prints perfect.
It prints perfect. And I have another friend who has an X1C, and he said he prints. Now he's not using Bambu TPU, but he uses the generic TPU profile, and he says it's perfect.
The generic one?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I should try the generic profile. Anyway, send that over. I'll give it a shot. I mean, it has to be able to print good.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
It's just weird that it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tuned it for SainSmart. I have no idea how big of a difference it is for the Bambu filament, but
yeah.
Give it a shot with SainSmart if you have any.
I'm curious, how did you find this tuning process? Because like, I know there's some options that are missing from Bambu Slicer. They just don't show them to you. Like Cura Slicer shows you the world. Yeah. And I'm not sure how many of those options are like actually important. How did you find the tuning process for the TPU?
Well, there's a lot of new settings that are on Orca Slicer, I guess Bambu too, Bambu Slicer. That wasn't on on Prusa Slicer. So there's like a lot of new things that I had to learn because I was so used to Prusa Slicer. But I don't know. It's actually really strange because I was very adamant back then when I was using Prusa Slicer to print with 210 temperature at 210, right? For TPU, for SainSmart TPU.
Right.
And
why were you adamant about that?
Just because a lot of people think that if they're getting clogs, they have to increase the temperature, right, in order to reduce clogging because the filament comes out easier. And while it is true, printing too hot can also add other problems. Sure. And so a lot of times, especially people who are newer to 3D printing, they see that something's not coming out the way they want it to, and they'll immediately try to change the setting that they believe will help. Right. But it could be something completely different. And while it might remedy it, you could be causing other issues to come up later.
Right.
So a lot of people are saying I'm getting a bunch of clogs. And if you dry your filament properly, printing at 210 would be, there shouldn't be any issues. So if you're having clogging issues, it might be something completely different, like a clogged nozzle. Right. Or I don't know, many other things. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think I'd have to do more testing because I'm not entirely sure. But my best guess right now is that I was using, what's it called? The nozzles, brass nozzles for the Prusa printers, and these are steel nozzles. And I'm getting much better prints with 240 degrees.
Interesting.
But no stringing at all. So I don't know.
When I think about tuning, one of the things that I think makes tuning the Bambu printers different is that the default speeds for the Bambu printers are so much higher. Right. So one of the things I've noticed is that the temperatures Bambu tends to run are hotter by maybe 10 or even 20 degrees. Right. And what I've read is that they do that because they need the filament to have the maximum flow rate. It just needs to be as liquid as possible because they're shooting it out so fast. It seems like somebody with experience tuning slower printers could come into this with a different set of assumptions and be like, oh no, 220 is way too hot. But actually for this speed, it isn't. I don't know. Did you run into anything like that?
Exactly that. I mean, yeah, that's exactly it. But I would still say I'm getting even less stringing now, even running hotter. And I mean, some of the speeds, like I guess I was running under 50 millimeters per second. I mean, the maximum I was running at was 50 millimeters per second with the Prusa Mark 3S. But now, oh God, I'm not really sure because my speed settings are pretty much like max. They never actually reach the speed, the maximum speed I set, because the max flow rate was really limiting the print.
Exactly. Yep. And it's always been that way. Like people will set their printer to whatever, 200 millimeters, some ridiculous millimeters per second. But either the volumetric flow rate, if the printer supports it, or the acceleration settings will prevent the printer from ever actually hitting that speed. Right. So it's hard to know what your actual speed that your printer's getting. I guess the print time is really the ultimate thing that tells you.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Julian, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. That was really fun. I think what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, is I'll probably cut this down to 2 minutes for the Bambu video, but then I'll release most of the interview as a separate video. And both times, of course, I'll link to Noozle3D and plug you and stuff.
Sounds great.